So JD, look, there's only a couple more records left on the album, man. Like, what you think I should put on now? Really? No, come on, man. People heard that. I mean, I got some hot records. I got The Rain. I got What should I do next? All right, look, you know what? Look, I'm gonna just go on. I'm gonna pick my own. I'm gonna put something else on. All right, man. Fine. Wild West, Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider, no, you don't want nada, none of this, gunning this, brother running this, up from no soldier, look, it's like I told you, any damsel that sends this stress, be out of that dress when she meet Jim West, rough necks, so go check them on the vibe, watch your step, reflex, and get a hole in your sides, follow the glide, don't let your lip react, you don't wanna see my hand with my hip be at, with Artemis, from the start of it, playing the game, James West, came in the West, so remember the name, now who you gonna call? Now people fall. If you ever live with people wanna bust, break it out before you get bum rushed at them. When I roll into the when I stroll into the when I bounce into the it's slow, Now once upon a time in the West, madman lost his damn mind in the West. Loveless, ain't never down, nothing less. Now I must focus my eye to the test. Then through the shadows, in the saddle, ready for battle. All your boys in, you're kind of poison. Behind my back, all everything you did, front and center. Now when you look at a kid, who that is? A fool, brother, laugh for your help. Looking damn good, though, if I can say it myself. Told me Lotus is a madman. I don't fit that. You got mad weapons too, ain't trying to hear that. Trying to bring down me, the champion. When y'all class won't see that it can't be done. Understand me, son, I'm the slickest they is. I'm the quickest they is. Did I say I'm the slickest they is? So if you walking up to wrong train, we coming. Don't be starting nothing. Me and my brother gonna test your chest, loveless. Can't stand the heat to get out the wild. When I roll into the when I go into the when I bounce into the
So very pleasant good afternoon and welcome to the Bucks County Curling Club for the 2019 His and Hers Bonspiel. It's our 4 p.m. draw in the C event. This game is between Steve Turner from the Bucks County Curling Club and Matthew Pring from Bucks County, along with a interloper from Philadelphia. I'm Dave Schmelton. I'm joined here by a special guest color commentator, skip of the Archie's team, Scott Dunham. Good afternoon, Scott.
Hey, Dave. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, you know, this way I don't feel like I'm talking to myself, you know, because that's like a thing.
Yeah, glad I can give you someone to talk to here, Dave. And excited for hopefully a good match between two local teams.
Absolutely. Now, Matt Pring was my color commentator for the last draw, and that proved to be interesting.
Was he as hard on others as he is sometimes? Or was he a softie?
I'm not hard on people. I just tell it the way it is.
Oh, it sounds like we got Matt back on the stream.
So we have the Pring rink throwing the red stones. It will be Steve Turner with the hammer, the last stone advantage. He'll throw last and throw the blue rocks. So 2 stones in right now from Kevin Brady, and asking Bert to throw a takeout, and Bert has his casual use of his stabilizer. It's really not really required.
That is the classic Bert form there. Looks like he's got a pretty good shot coming in.
Gonna make it leave, not gonna hold the shooter.
Yeah, still getting used to the ice here. First end, not a bad result.
And Matt's going to just keep on throwing him in it. We talked to Steve before the draw during the last telecast, and he said he was going to try to get some guards up and try to work some rocks underneath him and build pressure in that respect. He was not looking to get into a hit fest.
Yes, Matt's a pretty experienced player, and the best way to pull out some of those games is to put some pressure on the opposing skip, get some guards up, use your sweepers, all of that. So I'm sure they're looking to get some guards up and hopefully steal some points.
Yeah, this stone here from comes up a little bit short from Michael. All reports were that Mike wasn't exactly thrilled to be throwing the early draw this morning.
Oh, I know what that means.
But still has a big smile on his face, as he always does. So Mac Mead, the second for Bucks County, looking to stick a draw underneath cover here. And with some brushing, looks like he got a good one.
Yeah, line's great. Speed looks pretty good, right under the guard.
Not bad at all. Now, Mac Mead, he is a retired letter carrier for the Postal Service. Still goes to the gym every morning at 4:30.
Wow, dedication, more than me.
Kind of surprised he's not wearing a tank top. It's usually suns out, guns out.
He does have the floral pants, though. It's the next best thing.
And to the one other person watching right now, we'll be giving updates across the barn as we go along. Just getting Scott ready for his next career.
Curling commentating, I think I could pull it off.
Yeah.
With a little guidance from you, Dave, I can get there.
As my colleague would say, allow me to give you wisdom.
looks like a good shot there from Pring on the button, around, mostly covered around a guard and a top 8 stone.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's the guard there. Now trying to throw a nice little cutesy downweight shot to get to it.
This looks like it's over curling.
The sweepers are all over it. Paul and Bert are giving it all they got, but it just doesn't have enough juice. Good news is it doesn't cover it up.
Yep, fully under. It's counting 2 and 3, but unfortunately shot rock is still Pring, and he'll be looking to cover that.
So when's your next draw, Scott?
We are in the semis at 6:45, so shortly after this.
Fantastic. On sheet A or C or?
We're on A against our rival Team Dutt.
I wish, unfortunately that won't be broadcast because we only do sheet B, but we'll get the final, so you better win to let me make fun of you.
All right, we'll do our best.
Well, actually, depending on the outcome of this game, I might have to play tomorrow.
As a sub for one of these two?
Yeah, I'm the 5th on the Pring rink.
Oh, it's a little biased over there. What's that?
Be good for him. So that leaves 2 stones under cover. Now Zach is going to get to throw another guard here, and
yeah,
I'd feel pretty good about asking for Zach to throw me a guard.
Yeah.
One of our better curlers here at Bucks.
Yeah, and this looks pretty good.
Former Rookie of the Year at Philadelphia. Had to mow the lawn.
Oh, yeah. And does tap the blue up. I think it's still 2 red. It's pretty close, though.
Now, Scott, do you think we have a shot coming from the other direction, from the left side as we're looking in the webcast?
Yeah, I certainly would like to see kind of
a little tip-tap.
Yeah, a nice little backline waiter, maybe hack depending on how much it curls down the left side. If you kind of hit that gap, you might be able to punch that blue right into the gap there and move both reds.
You really have to move the one to the light too, right?
It depends on whose shot. I can't really tell between the blue and the red right now. I think it might be blue.
For my money, I'd say blue.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you can catch that and move it over into the side of the other red, you're in pretty good shape there. Obviously, the Pring team would still have that tap in the middle, but...
and this one coming down the outside is going to miss everything. So... Matt's looking to raise another one in here, and he thinks this is trying to go for too much.
So, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a guard here. It's first end, you're sitting 1. If you put a guard up, it could be pretty tough. The tap's great if you make it. If you tap one in there, you're probably stealing at least 1, maybe 2. But you also could, open it up. If you over curl a little bit or you don't curl enough and punch it sideways, you might give up a deuce.
Matt Pring, curling originally out of the Fairbanks Curling Club.
Looks like it's coming in pretty nice.
It's going to come on up, and it will indeed sit to be second shot. So very fine shot by Matt there.
That's a great angle for him. It's really tough to get that one out now.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to do a long red-blue run back right now, and that you don't want to ever do that.
Yeah, things are looking tough now for
Steve Turner.
Team Turner.
Is there a port on the right side as we're looking at it?
I think there's a port on both sides. Both a little tough to navigate, but both there.
It does look like he's trying to going to take the shot on the left side.
Yep.
Raise his own on in there and see what happens. There's a real danger of making 2 into 3 here.
Yeah, I think if he makes it reasonably well, that back red will spring back far enough where it's still just the 2, and it could be a nice little setup shot depending on where he leaves his shooter for something to run in on his next. But still, this is a tough shot, not something you want to see in the first end of your skip.
And the heckle bench is being populated here at Bucks County Curling Club. We have Tom Scaracini, Greg Wolf, Jane Stayer, Steve Johnson, Kristen Weiss, and Chris Mahoney out there cheering on their favorites. This stone's away. It needs to curl some.
Starting to hook.
It's not so bad. Just needs to go a little bit more.
It's close.
Oh! Well, he did no harm.
Didn't harm anything, and now he kind of left the blue blocking the other path too. He'll have something to reduce the damage on his next, but Pring will look to guard the easiest shot, which seems to be what he just threw.
Now, if you were throwing, Scott, assuming the next stone is meaningless, throw a blue off that one off the left-hand side there that's on the 12-foot?
Yeah, I was actually
jab into it that way?
I was just looking at that. I think probably the easiest way to cut it down to 1, probably. I don't think he can score that way.
Well, I think on the stone on the button might come back up towards us.
It's possible. I think that's the easiest way to score. You kind of come in like a thin half a rock off of that in towards the button. Definitely reduce the damage down to 1, and could even score if you make it great.
Matt's electing to guard the low weight options, which I think is quite sensible because that's what 95% of people are going to look towards.
Yep, and he just threw it, so you'd think you'd want to throw that again given the option.
Kevin Brady, Captain Drell, and Mike, don't make me throw a Drell Glessner.
That guard is actually high enough.
It actually kind of guarded both of them, didn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think it's high enough where the Anoff's not really there anymore.
You'd have to just paper it.
Yeah, paper it, probably control, maybe normal at most.
Well, yeah, I think you need normal just to make the stones move enough.
Yeah, normal certainly to score. Control, you might be able to cut it to 1.
So let's see what Steve's looking at here. See if we can catch a bit of the conversation. And we can't.
I would have been pretty impressed if you could.
Well, if it's me or Pring out there, you're going to catch the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, our microphone for the ice shed is hanging basically directly in the middle of the shed between B and C.
Yep. That's good to know. Next time I'm out there, I won't stand under that if I have some interesting things to say.
I actually heard Steve talk a little bit, but he is looking to make a play off the red, so.
Might be looking to go straight back, cuts it to 1.
Yeah, straight back would cut to 1, and the stone's away, and it's a little bit wide of everything, so.
Hopefully doesn't do any damage. Doesn't look like it.
It's going to catch an edge of the red, but I don't think that's going to hurt.
Still 2.
It's still the same 2 it was before. They're taking a pretty close look at it, but yep, 2. 2's the call, so score 2 for Team Pring on our featured game. And we'll give you updates as other folks start to post scores. On sheet A, we have Bucks County Curling Club with Michelle Sheffer against the Candy Girls from Denver. And it was Denver's hanging a 4 in the first end. We got nothing else posted as of yet. We'll let you know. Yep, here we go. We have a score of 4 for Laura Halsey of Philadelphia. Who's playing against Philadelphia with Pat Jolly in the house. I don't know if, like, all the way. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
She seems to be listed as vice on the...
She is listed as a vice. Maybe she's going to throw fourth, or they change her throwing order in some way.
That's what it looks like.
That's okay. Well, you know, and then over on sheet D, we have Joe Weber from Bucks County Curling Club facing the Potomac team of Jim Barch, with John Gephardt at vice, Patty Coburn throwing second, subbing in, and Bill Grabowski throwing lead. We're waiting for a score to be posted over there. First stone in is in for Matt Pring, and asking Kevin Brady to throw a guard or come on down to it. It's okay either way. Matt appears to be definitely comfortable testing the hitting capabilities of his opponent.
Yeah, I'm sure Matt's happy with a blank end here. It's an even end, took 2 in the first. Glad to just keep things simple.
So, Scott, who's on your competitive team this year?
Competitively, I'll be playing with a similar team as last year. So I played with my cousin Cody Klauser, my brother Andrew Dunham, and Daniel Dutt. This year we added Alex Leichter to our team. He's got a lot of experience. We've played against him for years, had the opportunity to add him, and are excited to play with him this year. So he'll be vicing. I think Cody will be throwing second. Andy will be throwing lead, and Daniel will be the alternate. It's important for us to have 5 this year. Andy and Cody are starting new jobs and can only have so many vacation days, so kind of, you know, alternating who makes each spiel.
Sounds good. What's the first event?
So we recently signed up for the Oakville Fall Classic over Labor Day weekend up in Ontario, which is always a fun spiel. I think there are more European teams there than Canadian teams this year, which is pretty cool. So we should get to play some fun teams from across the pond.
So we have empty house and trying to get Michael to throw a guard or a draw here.
Looks good. Got a biter out of it.
Yep, absolutely. Pring's not happy because Pring is often not happy.
Having some words with his sweepers.
Saying, why leave that line?
Yeah, looked like they were working that one pretty hard. I'm not sure there's too much more they could have done there.
And for everybody at home, we invite you to engage with us on the live chat. We do take a look at it, and hopefully we won't end up with a Connecticut trivia fest.
I heard about that. What were some of Matt's best trivia?
Oh, there were many things. Connecticut had the first automobile license plates.
Wow. Good to know if I'm ever on Jeopardy.
So the stone from Steve Turner is on the back four, asking Michael Glessner the second to throw a takeout. He's fashionably wearing one sleeve today. Makes the takeout, clears it off, loses the shooter. So Steve-O is going to have to start over here again. Calling to draw underneath cover. Hello, Nancy. This one appears to be hot. Bert is referencing that it may be in the warm room.
Yeah, it certainly looks hot. The ice is very quick out there. It's easy to overthrow, but you got to use your sweepers on these draws to really make them well.
Yeah, we've been clocking in general 15.2, 15.4 as our times.
Yeah,
have you been getting the same?
Yeah, I've been telling my team anything from a 15.2 to 15.5, depending on the sweep percent.
Yeah.
And I think I had Cody get one of mine there earlier. That was a 15.7. So definitely quick.
Yeah, we do have our chiller dialed into quote-unquote bond skill mode. We tighten up the control range to hold the ice as close to where we want to keep it. Bring it down a little bit overnight so it can hold through the day.
Yeah, ice has been great. It's been really consistent. Speed.
Finally figured out this chiller, and we'll replace it this weekend after this month.
Yeah, so Bucks has some big plans this summer to make some upgrades. I think the chiller's first on the list, right?
Yep, we're going to do the chiller. We're also going to do some upgrades to the primary locker rooms that we use. We're going to pull up a lot of the black rubber that is from, still of that other sport's heritage.
Yes, that other ice sport.
And try to get that a little bit more ice-friendly, dirt-friendly covering.
Nice.
Also, quite importantly, we're going to add a counter along the warm room wall in the ice shed to allow for your beverages to be more convenient.
Oh, very important there.
Not that the tables are okay, but a counter is nicer.
Yes, certainly.
Doing things as we go. And of course we're going to have to bleach the shared wall because it will get moldy when we don't have ice and the other side's so cold.
Yes. This will be the first time Bucks hasn't had ice in quite a while, right?
Yeah, we installed this ice in September of 2017.
Right when I moved back to Philly. Perfect timing.
Yeah. Johnny come lately.
Yeah. This looks pretty wide.
Yeah, Paul pitched this one a little bit, and he knows it.
Certainly not the way to miss that one. Pring gets up a guard here. He might be in pretty dire shape again.
Yeah. Steve is the skip is the most experienced curler on his team. Steve has been playing, I believe this is his fourth year. Paul Bison. It's his second year. Mac, it's also his second. Actually, I'll stand corrected there. Bert is fully through his 5th year. So like 5.5 if you count how they officially count crap now.
Yep.
Because we're in the new year.
Yeah, Bert's officially out of 5 and under, right?
Yep. Although he qualified in a second-tier event, so he, tier 2, he may actually get to go back to Duluth next year.
Oh, very cool.
I went to Duluth, and all I got was a T-shirt and a busted knee.
Duluth is a hard city to walk around. It's icy and hilly. Not a great combo. And Pring slipped into the house. Not a bad result, but certainly lets them off the hook a bit.
It looks like Steve wants to make some Red Rocks go away. And you could actually make the double and roll under cover and be shot if you're really lucky here.
Yeah, if you make it perfect, you can certainly roll that shooter under, potentially stick around a shot. Might have Pring throwing a 3-foot run to prevent a deuce. But I think he'd be pretty happy with anything that got rid of some reds and stuck around.
Yeah. The good news is there's a lot of red to hit.
Yeah, I don't think there's a hole there.
The bad news is there's a lot of red to hit.
Yes. We've been there. Looks a little out. It's starting to move a little.
I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it's moving. It's moving.
You got to be on it. You should be sweeping that. Oh, boys. Oh, boys. Oh, boys.
Ooh, they queued up a nice angle. It actually, I think if you nose that, you're pretty close to getting both those reds. But
I think you could have held that earlier.
Yeah, that seemed to curl quite a bit.
Yeah.
You should have swept at least a little to get it under that corner.
Well, Matt told me last draw that this sheet is dished in this direction on that side.
Yeah, I played our first game here. Certainly curls more on what we're viewing as the left side of the sheet than the right side. Both sides curling reasonably well, but left side curling a little bit better.
And with the ice being in for about 2 years, we were doing some scraping yesterday and threw some test rocks and saw kind of the same thing. And resigned to ourselves that it's about the best we're going to do.
Yeah, the ice, the ice has been great, particularly considering the weather outside. Like, the humidity, the speed is great. It's curling pretty well, so to have very slight inconsistencies in curl is, to be expected.
It's really part of the game.
Yeah, there's very few ice that you'll ever play on where everywhere curls the same.
I always have felt that, especially as we transitioned from having arena ice to dedicated ice, it gave us an advantage when we were traveling away because an arena ice curler is so used to some things being inconsistent that they will believe what they see immediately.
Yeah. Gives a little more intuition when reading the ice.
Whereas your dedicated ice curler say, well, I put it 14 inches outside for control weight, and that's what it should do.
Yeah, arena ice curlers certainly have to get used to all of the different ice that they see on a week by week basis.
So it's going to be a challenge here for Steve. He has to throw a draw. He does have backing to settle into, but he is facing 3, so a test for the Bucks County skip here.
Yeah, don't want to overthrow this. Use your sweepers. You want to be on the inside half of that red, and some good things can happen.
Paul Bison, if I'm not mistaken, this is Paul's first bonspiel as a vice, so no experience for him. I would expect the skip to be assisting. appears to have all the weight it needs. It's all about the line right now. Waiting for it to curl.
Hasn't moved much yet.
We got Mack and Burton. Now they're on it. They're taking it to task. Curling in a good deal. I think you need to let it go. Get up.
Ooh.
Oh. I think it's
like
still
two.
I think it's still 3.
Might be really close. Certainly 2. Needed that one to curl a bit. The weight was actually very close to T.
They're saying 2 for sure.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a glare right where that back red is. It's hard to tell.
And they are going to go grab the measure. Actually, I think they're actually in a 3-rock measure right now. I think they're at 1 for sure.
3-rock measure, interesting. Yeah, it looks from here that top red is second, but
I agree, but I do believe they are going to measure 3 stones here.
Yep.
So for those of you at home, a little bit of officiating class. If you're involved in a 3-rock measure, okay, well we're not. But if you were, you measure the odd-colored stone first.
Yes.
And then work to the other 2.
Yep. So in that case, they would have measured the blue.
Yep, and then the 2 reds.
So regardless of the outcome of this measure, Pring has a pretty hefty lead of at least 4 after 2.
Yeah, it's at least 2, and we finally have had some scores posted on Sheet D, and it's 1 for Plainfield and 1 for Bucks. So tied up at 1 after 2. It's a score of a single point. Oh, no. Patchell, I just amended that. It's a score of 2 points for the Philadelphia rink with Pat Jolly skipping here.
Yeah, certainly don't want to make that mistake.
So they trail 4-2. And what was the verdict here?
I don't know. I think they moved the red into the middle, which usually indicates that it was the red.
So it should be 3 then. Indeed, Ian, it is those subtle nuances in the ice, those gentle variations which do give the roaring game its charm.
Always.
So calling Captain Troll and Kevin plants this in the back 4-foot. It's fine. You'd prefer to be 3 feet shorter, but no big.
Yeah, when you have a 5-point lead, an acceptable outcome is a pretty big range of in the house.
Now with Kevin Brady, Scott, I found that his best positions, second is not his best position. No good there. He's a good counsel as a vice, but really, I put him either as a lead or as a skip, one or the other, which sounds really odd. But it's either you just let him drop those guards and brush, or let him call the game.
Yeah, I've certainly experienced the same thing with Kevin. I think depending on which league he's playing with and who he's playing with, he could be a very solid lead or skip.
Now, mind you, I've been happy to have him as my vice on many an occasion and quite enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's just he's really good at those draw shots, and the skip really has to make them.
Yeah,
and not so much at the big weight peels, and frankly, if the skip is throwing a big weight peel, you're screwed anyway.
Not always.
But often.
More often than not.
At the level that we generally play at.
Yes. I was thinking more of the scenario where your skip's just peeling rocks out because they're up by so much.
Well, sure. Yeah. Yeah, but if you had to throw like a double to score 1.
Yes, that's not an ideal situation. And certainly not as much Kevin's game. Kevin does a great job of just sticking up, guards, good draw weight. Definitely something you want to see in either a skip or a lead.
And really good at maintaining a balanced temperament and calling a game and letting the last end go, the last shot go, and say, okay, this is what we have to do now.
Yeah, and I think he's gotten the good experience of playing with Matt a lot, who can be kind of fiery, so Kevin keeps him kind of even.
Yeah, this team is actually 4 folks who skip an awful lot.
Yes, I've certainly seen everyone on this team skip.
I think Michael's right where he needs to be on this team at second.
Yeah, Michael's a strong second. He played second in the men's league this year in Philly for Craig McKinley. They had a very solid team. Michael had a lot of good games.
That's a good shot there. It does leave Steve Turner still sitting shot. So he's going to throw the top of the 8-foot again. What do you think about that? How are you trying to manufacture a multiple end right now?
So I would come around that one on the 4-foot line, either as a tight guard or, top 12, even all the way down to tee. I think the best way to score 2 or 3 here is to draw under. I think Pring will hit the open rock, and then you might be able to sink a second one under, and then things start to get a little scary for Pring. Pring could peel the guard if he goes under it, but then you have an opportunity to stick a third blue in the house. So either way, you end up with a good scenario there if you come under that blue rock. This could be good if he puts it in the right spot, but he also could leave, a double for Pring where they're kind of out of trouble here.
It is going to settle right at the middle of the 12-foot circle. Rocks are Christmas treed up a little bit.
Angles aren't too bad.
Angles are good if you're Steve.
Yeah, it looks like there's a pretty good chance that double's going to jam unless you catch it real thin off the back one.
And Pring's going to take his chances with that and just tell Mike to push that pile back and see what happens. I don't disagree with this.
There's a great chance of killing at least one, and that's got to be the goal here.
That's quite down late from what I expected.
Yeah, it looks more like a soft normal.
Just going to get the top one here and lose the shooter.
They'll be happy to trade those for a little while.
So Michelle Sheffer on sheet A got 2 points, so it's a 4-2 in favor of Denver.
What happened on our feature sheet? It looked like...
Well, yeah, it's a hog.
It's tough.
Didn't want to do that. So now Zachariah Gary has an opportunity to peel it off. Zach is wearing his Saturday purple.
And his classic golf hat.
Will be followed by Sunday yellow. Now, Lisa, have you ever completed that project? Very good. We have a great surprise in tune for Zach tomorrow. Now, his lovely wife Lisa is a fan of all. Don't know how to properly say this. All things death related.
Was not expecting that.
No. So we have for Zach tomorrow a miniature casket, like a salesman's sample.
Yeah.
Which we procured a proper size skeleton to put into.
Interesting.
And that hat to put on top of the skeleton.
That's fun. What's the occasion?
The hat's too big for the skill. We'll deal with it. It's close. I mean, what? I can only buy so much on Amazon. No, but Zach and Lisa, and I've went out also with them, have an affinity for antiquing. A lot of fun. Their Boyertown residence is filled with many different antiques.
This looks pretty good here.
Yeah, it's not bad, right? The top four, so they're sitting 1, 2, and 3. And now Steve's going to want to go call a hit, which... Oh, no, he is going to call a draw.
Yeah, looks like he's calling the freeze to the back. Very tricky shot. Could pay off if he makes it well, but...
We've had some chocolate delivered to the booth.
Ooh.
I don't hate that.
No, this is great.
It's going to go well with this fine red wine I have. Bite. Sip.
There you go. Living life to its fullest.
Good effort by Paul there. It's going to be second shot, yeah.
They've got to deal with it.
And Pring's just going to hit it. I think Bert should realize that Medicare doesn't cover him running that fast. Oh, nope, he's coming off to the warmer, so maybe it does.
Bert's gone with the blue hair this weekend.
Yeah, well... See, Bert was the cool old guy at our club. And then he was threatened by a newer, cooler old guy, Brent Larson.
Oh, yeah.
So, in response, Bert has spoken out with the different hair colors.
Interesting
outlet. In an attempt to reclaim his cool old guy status.
Has Brent ever retaliated?
I don't know. Let's go to Brent Larson. What do you think about that, Brent? I don't need to retaliate. I'm way cooler than Bert. I mean, you know it. It's easy to see. So, you know, if Bert feels like he has to dye his hair, I mean, well, good for him.
That was Brent. Looks like he had a perfect triangle almost here of red stones. Unfortunately, again, going to be a tough shot here for Team Turner.
So what do you do here? Do you...
Well, down 5, it's time to get aggressive.
Oh, yeah, you got to put one in for sure, but...
I'm just saying, some teams will just hit that top one, and there's a good chance if you hit the top one, you know, they're going to hit you, and you'll get your 1, but one might not cut it here.
I don't think 1 does a lot for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate just coming under that high corner guard. It's tough to bury one there, but...
And Steve is kind of looking at that.
Yeah, I think he is.
He's just trying to figure out how to get there.
If you make a good one, Pring's got to make a good guard, and if he doesn't, you'll have your hack weight hit for 2 probably. Could also, you know, hit and roll off that red. A little bit trickier to do, but maybe better if you make it.
All right, so Steve Turner here with his first in the third end. We'll give you score updates in a minute.
This looks close to nose on that red.
Gonna stuff it. Ooh.
Might be looking at 5. Pring can remove that. A lot of red to jam on, but also some pretty good holes to hit that through.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna probably be looking at a draw for 1 here, but over on sheet C, Bucks County stole a point in the 3rd end. 2-1 Bucks over Plainfield.
Looks a little out there.
Has a bit of a tendency on his out turn there. And, oh!
Draw for 2.
And it's a draw for 2 now. And it tends to dump that out turn just a touch.
Yeah, just started a little bit narrow and overcompensated.
And he's, him and Zach are discussing it. He knows what he did.
Yeah, and the right side of this sheet is pretty straight, especially when you bring the weight up like that.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of room for error there. Which, if thrown right, makes it a great way to make the takeout.
Yes.
Because you're not going to worry too much about curl.
Yes. We played on the sheet yesterday by the second or third end when we were playing hits over there. Just putting the broom pretty much in the middle of the rock.
All right, Steve-O, let's put this in the 8-foot and take 2.
That would certainly make things a little more interesting here. Pring still in pretty solid control.
Mac and Bird. Mac is sweeping hard. Bird is assessing.
That looks like it needs it. Can't hurt. Can't hurt yourself.
There you go. You got it. And it's going to be a score of 2 for Steve Turner. So it's after 3 ends, it's 5-2 Pring over Turner. Final rock is away on sheet A. It is Denver throwing the hammer. They are facing 1 Bucks County stone. And this draw looks to be coming on in and they're going to have to hustle to get it there. A little bit light, so it's going to be a steal 1 for Michelle Sheffer and Bucks County. So they narrow the gap. It's now 4-3 in favor of Denver after 3 ends. And eventually the ladies on sheet C will decide to hang the score and let us know what happened. So asking for the center guard and just trying to get over the hog line right now. This is where you want to call up as soon as you're over the hog line, because you're only dragging it to be a corner guard.
Yeah, dragged it over quite a bit. It looks to be on kind of the 4-foot line.
Yeah, we can actually still see that 4-foot line. How about that?
There we go. Easier to see on that overhead camera than out on the ice.
No, you can't see on the ice, and I'm fine with that.
More of a feel game.
Helps you, the 4-foot lines help you to scrape a little bit because it's something to reference.
Yep.
But I find that, you start to get brushers calling line.
Yes. This is slipping deep and through. Sweepers jumped it early. I'm sure Pring is not happy about that one.
There's a big sigh coming from Mr. Pring on that one. So here goes Bird trying to throw a second guard. This one looks a little bit better than the first in terms of line. Might be a little bit hot for weight. It has to grab. for my money, Scott, as soon as you know it's in, you might as well try to sweep it to be a 6.
Yeah, they could have brought that deeper for sure.
If it's going to be in, hope it's good, and if you get a miss, then you can guard it.
Yeah, and being this high, if Pring makes that roll, there's not a lot of room to get around that guard and move it. If he was in the the 4-foot area, they could maybe play some backline hack weight around that and move it. Misses.
Oh, that's exactly the conversation we just had. So now, if you go to put up a guard, you're only guarding a rock that's in the 12-foot.
Yeah.
Whereas had he carried a little bit further, you might be guarding something that's potentially a scoring stone.
Yeah, exactly. I still think you need the guard here, down 3, desperately trying to steal.
Yep, and that is the call. Going to see if Mac Mead, the postman, can deliver. Yes, I know it's a bad joke.
Wasn't going to say anything. I hear him all the time from my dad. Even worse than that.
Your dad's the king of dad jokes.
Yeah, he takes it very seriously.
Oh dear Lord! I mean, it's.
I think he.
I love him. He's a great. I love him. He's a great guy. But Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
I know. I've lived it for 25 years. He loves his dad jokes. I think he subscribes to some service that sends him a couple every week.
So over on sheet C, we have a steal of 5 from Pat Jolly's team.
I'll tell you, I was not expecting that. If I stole 5, I would have put it up on the first shot of the next end.
Correct.
not wait halfway through the end.
So it's 7-4, and there's not a lot of defense going on there. They're going to go for 2.
Yeah, shootout.
Now this draw from Mike Glessner.
Looked like it grabbed a little. It went sideways there at the end.
It did. And Kevin Brady's indicating that he thinks it picked.
I think with Hammer there, Matt really should have thought about getting rid of starting clearing the middle up. There's a lot of junk now in the middle, and if Turner gets one around there, they're going to be chasing for the rest of the end.
Well, yeah, and that's a call right now. Steve sees a little bit of an opportunity here. He's going to try to capitalize on it.
This one looks to be a little out there.
From that side, it should come back. Got to go now. It's checking up hard.
Yeah, and this might just guard that 4-foot line, which is not a bad thing.
That's not bad.
Certainly blocks a potential out for Team Pring.
Yeah,
so.
It's not bad. All right, now Pring says Michael hit something.
Yeah, down to business now. Get rid of the center guard. Might even be able to run it straight back into the other.
Hit that stuff, Glessner.
And Michael likes these shots. I've seen him throw some pretty big weight.
This is a Michael shot. This is why you put Mike on your team at second. Don't make me look like an idiot.
That's cutting.
They're on hard, but I think they're still going to make it.
Certainly got the top. I think they... Ooh, almost got the bonus.
That's not bad.
It's a good result.
Give that a 3 or a 4? A 3, I would think.
Out of 5? Or out of 4?
Okay, out of 5, I give it 4.
Yeah, I guess it depends on, the level of play expected. I think for this scenario, I would definitely give that a 4. Your goal is to clear that center guard. And the perfect 5 is running it back into the blue.
Right.
So pretty good shot. He should be pretty happy with that.
You don't hate it.
Certainly not.
Now, I suppose the draw, I kind of would have liked to tap here.
Given the way it looks like they might have been trying to tap, it looked like almost in the hack.
And now Pring's going to peel this off and just tell Zach to fire away here.
Yeah, all of a sudden things looking good for Pring with 2 semi-corner guards, and if he gets this one out of the middle, they're looking pretty solid now.
Yeah, they're the wrong color, but they're still a guard nevertheless.
Yep.
And Zach has his shot.
Looks like it'll roll over to the wing. Good result. Hangs around, gets rid of the blue. Good shot.
It's amazing how, even though we're sitting right behind the sheet, it's easier to look at the monitor sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's hard to look through the skips, and Pring is a pretty big skip, so blocks the path sometimes.
Total eclipse of the house.
So they have a raffle going here where if you get an arm's length or a wingspan, you can use any person you want. And I was saying if I get one, I'm going to find Pring and use his.
Pring's not bad. Gletzner's not bad. I'm actually not. I'm actually a
probably in the top 3.
I'm a 47 ticket wingspan.
Did you ask Pring what he is? I'm curious. It's probably pretty similar.
I never asked him to measure up like that. Sorry.
I'm just curious who people should use for the raffle.
Well, the winner, he's not here, but the winner, if you're in the GNCC, is Trevor Gall from Triangle.
Yeah, I've seen him around. I think he's a pretty tall guy.
Yeah, Trev. He's got some arms on him.
Yeah, and certainly at the national level, Colin Huffman is a very, very large man.
Yeah, Colin is just a touch. Colin is just a. He's actually a little shorter than Pring.
Really? I guess Pring's a pretty big guy too. 6'5", maybe?
Yeah. I'm almost 6'3", and Pring's taller than me.
Yeah, this is a tall team. Zach's tall. Yeah. Gletzner's tall. Kevin's not small.
Oh, there was a funny story about this. Most of this team, it was Zach, Pring, Dan Pearson, and Paul Gibson. And they were up at Ardsley for the Big Apple Bonspiel. And it's the finals, and it's commentary saying, I don't know if I'd want to run into these guys in the corner.
Yeah.
Because all four pretty guys, I mean, making Zach look like the run of the litter.
Zach's a pretty tall guy. Certainly different from our team where everyone ranges from 5'8" to 5'10".
Now, my line is always like, well, you might be more nimble, but don't ever let me hit you.
Yeah, can appreciate that.
You better be nimble. All right, Steve. Steve has to come on in here, trying to get past the guard, hurrying to get past it. Mac is sweeping his heart out and gets past the guard and going to make the hit. Good shot by Steve. It does roll wide open, so would expect Pring to just peel this one off.
Yeah, get rid of the blue. See if you can stick around just about anywhere.
With a boom right there.
I think he's probably trying to roll this to our left as we're viewing it, out of the way, because Turner will likely try to roll under cover and force her steal.
Yeah, so roll to the right on the picture,
or the left, either way, just not right where it is.
Don't leave it where it is.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Anything that doesn't leave a simple hit and roll is.
So Matt Pring, he pretty much on the stick there.
Looks like it's cutting.
Michael is stalking the rock.
He wants to.
It's going to be a dead nose.
Might get a little. 2 inches. He's being optimistic.
A few more broadcasts with me, Scott. I'll get you good and cynical.
Always try to be optimistic, but tougher sometimes than others. Got quite a line of rocks on sheet A over there behind the guard.
Indeed, and it is the Denver rock, which sits on the lid. First skip stone upcoming for Michelle Sheffer. So we'll let you know what happens over there. So Steve-O's looking to hit and roll here.
Yeah, he's got to get one under cover, otherwise it'll look like a deuce for Team Pring.
An easy deuce, yeah.
good news is he can roll either way if it curls more or less than he thinks it will.
Steve Turner with his final skip rock. Control weight is what we heard. Looks to be a good control. And with a little bit of a roll.
Just a little too much.
Just going to fall out to be out of the house, and it'll be a draw for 2. And absolutely, Mike, I will always accept another drink. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
I'm all right. I appreciate it. Gotta play in a little bit. Got a tough game coming up.
Against Dutt, right?
Yep, against one of my competitive teammates, Daniel Dutt. So always look forward to those.
It's a blood feud.
We've been playing them for years. All the Philly family bonspiels growing up.
We just need to come up with some type of team for the Crack Bell that makes it not be the Dutt Invitational.
Yes, I will caveat that saying my family stopped playing about 4 years ago, and that seems to be when the Dutt reign started.
Well, we have a good draw here by Matt Pring, and it's going to be a score of 2. So count them up, and it's now 7-2. Matt Pring over Steve Turner. Approved by Lisa Gary, and I will always approve everything she says because she might embalm me. There we go. Holy heck, Batman. We have a 4 spot on sheet 3.
Wow, this is quite the line score. 4, deuce, steal 5, 4.
And now it is Laura Halsey with a 1-stone lead over Pat Jolly skipping Chrissy Kursek's team. Over on sheet D, it is a score of 3 for Jim in his Plainfield rank. Jim Barch, along with John Gephardt, Patty Coburn, and Ray Piccolini. Sorry, Bill Grabowski, Ray's at home. And we're still waiting for the end of the 4th end on sheet A. Bucks County does not have hammer. They're looking to throw their final stone. It's sitting 1 right now for Denver, and I think if I'm Bucks right now, I'm happy with leaving it that way.
Yeah, it looks like a concession of 1 here.
You might be able to come around on the other side and make a little bit of movement if you threw a hack weight. But
this is the easiest. They're blocking the easiest shot for 2, I think. They could draw dead tee over here and score there too. So as long as they put something up in front of the tee, I think it's pretty much a force.
And we're always talking about, what your goal is. And generally, without hammer, a force of 1 to win.
Yeah, it's a pretty close game over there, so a force is certainly acceptable. This looks pretty good. Need to suck it in a little.
Yeah, it's taking the curl, so now you got to drag it over. Drag it over to cover up the draw path, and Michelle does just that. So, tough draw the side of the button for 2 rather. So, looks like Michelle is going to get her force over there. We'll let you know what actually happens. First stone is in for Matt Pring.
Kevin doing a good job of keeping him in the rings.
Yeah, in relatively the same spot as he put the last one.
Yeah, back 8, which is less desirable than top 8, but hey, it's much better than a guard, especially up 5.
You can tell Kevin's not happy with himself. He knows he missed that.
Yeah, he holds himself to a high standard, and Matt makes sure of that.
Yes, he does. Why screw me, Brady?
Yeah, that's the G-rated version.
Okay, so Turner Stone comes on into the 8-foot, asking Michael to take it out. Throwing in out on this one. Normal weight.
I think it'll move this way. This is the opposite of the straight way.
Oh, this should certainly go. And he already started it that way, so.
Yeah, it looked like he hooked it a touch.
That's what I saw, but.
Looks right on, though.
What do we know?
Yeah. Glessner's a big guy. It's hard to see the stone around his slide. Does roll out. Oh, could be biting. Looks out, though. See, this is where the 5-rock rule comes in handy. You'd like to see him put up a corner guard here. If one more is protected.
Right.
But it looks like he's playing the freeze, which is a good shot if you make it. It's just tough to make a perfect freeze here. Anywhere.
So Paul and Bert are watching this one, and now they're on it. Looks to be a touch light, so we're going to have a guard now. It's just where it's going to be. A little bit of a misjudgment of the weight there.
Certainly not a bad shot. Ends up kind of guarding the 4-foot line over there. Still a little bit high. It's tough to bury around that, but certainly helps them.
I guess with the way the ice is swinging, the best buryage would be on the right side as we look at it.
Yes.
Because you could afford to leave it half under, because coming back would be a straight turn coming in.
Yeah, and if anything, if you go under that, you want to kind of over-bury it a little bit, because
Right.
if it's peeking out on the wide side, that's tough to hit. If you're
Right.
peeking out on the other side, you can pretty much get to nose. Pretty good shot here, top 4.
Comes down to the 4-foot, so now a really good shot right now would be that. You got to make it.
Yeah, I'd like to see him play this with more, back 8, back line weight, so that you tap the Reds to a pocket.
Because there's a big chance of you miss this with the normal weight to the throw, and you can lose your shooter.
Yeah, certainly you need to keep your shooter around, and that red you really don't want to kill. You want to just move it back, create a pocket, leave yourself a shot for later.
Right, your opponent's stones are your friends right now.
Yep, exactly. So a little more weight, but he made it pretty well. You can see most of that blue on the wide side, but he left it on the tougher side.
That's not so bad.
Not a bad result.
So on the Richie Rahonen scale, is that pretty good?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty
Okay.
good. Certainly not really good.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. You get a lot of pretty goods, you get a lot of really goods.
Every once in a while, you get a really, really good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they've thrown a couple really, really goods against us.
Yeah. You still threw a good game, but yeah, they did. I don't like this.
Yeah, you got the corner up. I'd like to see him use the corner. The perfect freeze is tougher than just getting under a corner guard.
If you're trying to draw underneath that corner guard, you have about 8 feet of house to use.
Yeah, you have to have your line within 2 inches and your weight within a foot.
And not ever this.
They might be able to hold this almost straight back. Might get away with something.
Well, he's trying to plan B it. The problem is it takes the other turn when you do that.
Yeah, kind of guarded. Yeah, it's looking tough for our big end for Team Turner again.
Yeah, and I feel like this call from Matt is almost baiting Steve.
Yep. He wants the other team throwing hits. It's coming up light. Maybe top 12.
All right, so some opportunity here for Steve. I still think, I agree with you, we got to draw underneath that whole wing there. And there's the call, so.
There we go. Let's make one. Put a little pressure on him.
Steve showing wisdom. He's dropping it right now. Can Paul drop it in there?
A little bit of room. Should hook, though.
It's got room.
It's
and
moving.
now here it comes. Now it's a question of weight. The line's going to be fine.
Needs to slow down.
Oh,
that could help.
Kiss might help it.
That's a pretty good result.
And for, I don't know.
If they had swept that just a couple licks, I think they would have gotten that, a little bit more buried and closer to the tee.
Be shot for sure.
Yeah.
Right now it's.
Not pretty good result, all things considered. Pring's got to chase it.
I'm just going to hit it all day.
I didn't know we had Matt mic'd up.
It's simple. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit it, Michael. I'm going to show you what you cannot do.
With this ice, what do you think? Maybe board, soft control?
Yeah, I think board is the call.
Matt certainly likes these shots.
Yep. So for those of us, those folks who are just Bucks members,
Ooh, it's moving.
On it right away, and that's all over the guard to the point where that might raise that in to be a counter.
It certainly looked like it grabbed out of his hand. It looked pretty close, and then halfway down the sheet, it was on the guard.
Well, Zach swept it to make sure that it's only sitting one right now. So there's that. You got to draw another one down there, right? You got to take a shot now.
Oh, yeah. If you can get one half to almost fully buried in top 8, top 4 at most, under there, definitely will have some pressure on Pring. Might leave yourself a shot for 3. Looks like he's playing under that corner.
Yeah, that's the call for Steve-O here. Speaking with Steve, and the best quality that he shows is that he owns the shot that he wants. Doesn't really he'll listen to input, but once he commits to a shot, he commits to it. He doesn't really go back and forth. And eventually, with time, he'll settle on the right shot more often than not.
Yeah, and that's a quality you definitely want in a skip. They need to, have one shot in mind when they're in the hack so they can focus all their energy on making that shot.
When I'm playing front end, I try my very best to never try to impact the skip shot.
Yep.
Because by the time they come back to me, they've made up their mind. It's time for them to go throw.
Yeah, I know when we want to have strategy discussions, we'll call people down the other end.
Yep.
And then everyone's input's definitely welcome there. But once the skip's, down by the hack, unless barring strenuous circumstances, you shouldn't be doing too much to impact the shot.
I think you could have brushed that some more and been sitting too.
Yeah,
It's a good result.
It is
It
good.
could have been better.
Yeah, it does a good job of the guard, so he should have a shot for 2. However, it's what could have been there. If they had, straight side swept that halfway,
Yep.
that's probably top 4 mostly buried.
I always look at it as the lead has to throw 2, sweep 6, and shut the heck up. The second, I look at like football, the second's allowed 1 challenge.
Yeah, are you sure you want to do that?
And if you're correct,
you get another
you're
one.
awarded an additional one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, shut your pie hole.
Yeah.
And I follow that even throwing second. I can say, no, I don't want somebody yapping my ear all the time. It's not good.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good rule of thumb for some new club curlers out there. But every team is a little bit different. Players to have different roles.
Right. Sometimes you might have acting as a vice the person that's not the best, the best strategist in the team.
Yep.
That person might be on the front end.
Yep. This is moving now. Oh, if they can get this here.
Oh, that's a nice draw.
Great sweep.
That's a good shot there, a good sweep, a good team shot.
Sweepers knew the weight early, called it right, got it around the guard.
So, Steve Turner, there is a downweight shot there with the out turn available. You can see a sliver, but you got 6 feet of room past the guard. It's doable.
Yeah, there's
I'm not saying it's easy.
certainly some tricky shots for 1. The only thing I see for 2 would be kind of the triple, the run on the high top 12 one, and getting both of those back 2 moving also.
Oh dear Lord, that's tough.
Yes, that's. I know you want to score here, so you probably don't play that. You play whatever you think is easiest for 1. But if you really feel like you need 2, I think you might have to play that.
Smells like dinner's getting ready here at Bucks.
Yeah, do you know what we're having? Getting hungry.
Let's see here. Today, Mr. Dunham, our specials. We have salad, barbecued chicken and brisket, green beans, mac and cheese, coleslaw, baked beans, cornbread and rolls, and various desserts.
I'll have to be careful not to eat too much because we're going pretty much right out on the ice after dinner. Yeah, looks like they're playing this sneak the guard, pick out hit for looks
Probably
like 1.
yeah. Well, this is the point where now it's with due cause that Steve has taken a while to look at this. At the same time, he's going to need 8 ends to win this game if he is going to. Yeah. So with the clock where it is, need to throw a rocks in. We're at 17 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yep.
All right, the rock's away, and they got Mac on it right now. Now
It's
Bert,
all over the top.
yeah, but hold on. Boom, boom. Oh,
Got
it's going to be
one.
a score of 1.
That's the creative way. That's close to what I was talking about with running that top one.
Yeah, that's another way to do it for sure.
But you'll take the point.
Matt Pring standing there saying,
You didn't call that. That doesn't count.
I mean, that's some bullshit. But it is a score of 1, and Pring is going to have the hammer now in the 6th end. Steve Turner, aware of the clock situation, is right up there to
Pring shrugging it off. Easier to shrug off when you're up 4 with.
Right. It's not the biggest travesty. It's not the first time in your life that something went the other way.
Yeah, you got your force. You're up. You got the hammer back.
Yep. And Bert's going to drop a guard here as long as they put it over the hog line, but I'm pretty sure they will. Bert just threw a Bert.
Nice guard.
That's all you need. Bert Tyler, 73 years young.
Ooh, I think we're getting the tick shot.
We have a tick shot called.
It's a lot of ice for this side.
So let's see if Brady can throw the tick shot.
So tick over curled, but not a terrible result. The center guard is now your color, which you can get rid of. And the blue is in the rings, which you can also now get rid of.
Now, Steve calling a draw underneath the red here. Would you prefer a guard covering what just got ticked in?
I'd almost guard the center guard, because I think the most dangerous stone is that center guard. And they could peel their own center guard, but not if you guard it.
Well, this draw from Bert looks like it's going to find its way right down to the 4-foot.
At least.
So hit the called shot perfectly.
Yeah, great throw.
That's exactly what was called. Now Pring's just going to follow the old blue stones are bad protocol.
It's not a bad strategy. You know, and you catch this an inch high, I think you get both.
So Captain Draw throwing a hit weight.
Looks like it needs to move.
Well, Scott, we call him Captain Draw for a reason.
Yes.
He's only Lieutenant Hit.
He'll get there one day. So now things are starting to look up a little bit for Team Turner. Got one on the button, got a center guard, got one top 12 blocking the draw path.
Yeah, and he's calling to be on the top 12 on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Ultimately, you're going to have to steal a couple at some point, so why not now? Have a good setup.
Yeah, if you can find a way to get two now, you can possibly flip the hammer to where you want it to be.
Yeah.
Steve is all in right now. That's the only way he can be.
Yep. This is kind of the do or die end here.
And this is going to be a guard. As long as you get this over, it's still a good shot.
Yeah, I'd even leave some separation there.
That's fine.
That's a good shot. Take that.
Not a problem with that at all. I know it's not what they were calling, but might be a little bit better.
Pring's still worried about that one.
Yeah, he says, I'd Mike hit this.
This is good if you get both, but once again, I think the more worrisome stones are those middle two, and if you kind of take a rip at those, I think you might be sending a red back into the house, which could do some damage also. This looks good though. Right on the nose. Sliver in.
I think you could have swept that to get both.
Would have been close. They did leave it in a pretty dangerous spot for the other team though. That you can tap that up, you can run it back.
Now, ooh, no. Come around the other way, Steve. Come around the other way, Steve.
I think he's going all in for that steal of one, which, you know, gives you probably another end of life, but
I think coming around the other way, you might be able to manufacture a two steal.
That's what you need. I agree. I kind of like coming top 8, top 4 the other way. Make him take a run at that.
If somebody runs a rock back on you at this point, fine.
Yeah.
Let them.
It's a good shot. You got to make the other team make good shots. Well,
now for the for the strategy he selected was a good shot and a very good outcome.
Yeah.
So asking for Mike Glessner here to throw a nice little down weight deal.
Yeah, it looks like about ice for a hack weight.
Hacker board, yep.
They've got one crack at this. If they don't get it here, the Team Turner might buckle it up.
Oh, then I'm pouring them in.
Oh yeah.
Because there's 3 rocks in the way.
Oh, looks close though. Looks pretty good.
It start to hang though.
Don't think they're getting a nose, but they're going to move it.
No, they're not.
Oh, just clipped it an inch. That's a disaster.
All right, so Steve has to start laying them in there.
And that was good weight. That was just barely through the house weight. So.
Okay, so that's not a bad call. I'd actually be throwing counters right now, but I take my chances.
Sometimes skips will, pat their broom in the top 12, but really the sweepers to sweep it in there.
Well, might well happen.
A little overthrow. This is a little wider than the last.
And a little hot too.
Definitely need to stick the rain.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4, 5.
Thinking back 8.
6, 7, and 8.
Sitting 2.
Yep, sitting 2.
They've still got to make that shot eventually.
Now, calling for the draw. And Zach wants to hit. There was a definite hesitation before he told him that.
Yeah, I think Zach's thinking about kind of clearing the middle up a bit.
Yeah.
Any score here is great for Pring.
Ooh, just off that top guard.
And that's two misses, 2 slight misses in the wrong direction. 2 slight misses is going to allow Steve Turner to lay 3 with a good shot here. I don't mind throwing the top 12 guard here right now. If you can, as long as you can get half or more buried, anything that's top 12 to top 4 is in great shape.
So Paul Bison. He's throwing his second. They're on now for line hard. Trying to hurry past that guard. They got to go. They are now past the guard and up.
Whoa.
Right down to the lid. And they are sitting 1, 2, and 3.
Things are getting interesting.
The plot is definitely moistening.
And Pring's still enamored with this kind of backline hack weight.
Well, he's hoping that Zach's not going to make the same shot miss twice.
Might wreck tight. Looking okay.
I think it needs a curl, Scott.
It's pretty tight. It's a good shot.
All right, so rattles around, and it's 1 for Turner. But that stone's available for a takeout to sit 4.
Yeah, they made the shot pretty well, and it still didn't leave him in great shape. So it's the other team throws back line, rolls a half rock in, and Pring might be bailing for his life.
Yeah, that was not a plus shot for sure.
But they still have to execute this one well. Still have to kind of roll it in at least a little.
We're on skip rocks now with about 6 minutes and 50 seconds to play. Should make 8.
Looks like they should.
So right here, Steve Turner, this is a crucial shot. Can make this and really put the screws to Pring.
Yeah, if you flip this one under the guards a little bit, all the pressure flips over to Pring. It's been on Steve pretty much the whole game.
Yep. Coming around, needs to curl. He's curler on it now. Whoa, let it work. Oh, you didn't want to do that. I think they were trying to sweep it by.
Yeah, they almost would have been better off with that. Although things really haven't changed much. Blue's still sitting 1. And honestly, pretty tough for Pring to get to.
I don't know. He can see all of his own stone. He just...
Yeah, but I think if you do that red's spinning back no matter what you do.
And then you're going to leave them sitting 2.
Leave him sitting 2, and then if he stuffs the draw back in the top 4,
you're facing 3.
Yeah. If I'm Pring, I think I almost want to nose tap that red a foot or 2 and leave your shooter with the nice angle. Worst case, you're throwing a run against 1.
You're pretty good at this color commentary stuff.
I've curled a couple times.
Yeah.
The food smells great.
Yeah, we got to get it in from someplace.
Yeah, I think after this end, I'm going to go grab a plate and come back.
Zach calling for a sweep.
This is on the guard.
And indeed it is. And really opens up.
Now Steve's got a second crack at this.
Steve's got a good shot to lay 4.
I'd like to see him dial the weight down a bit too. The real important thing is flipping that shooter under and pushing the red back.
And John, for your knowledge, Mac generally goes suns out, guns out in the warm room and around the club. He usually has a full T-shirt on in the shed.
Yeah. I'm sure he's raring and ready to sweep this one.
Also a grunter.
A grunt sweeper?
Yeah.
I've seen many of those. Everyone's got their own funny sweeping habits. My dad's the foot shuffler.
Oh yeah, he shares the roll and shuffle.
Yeah, the quick steps. Got to get those steps in for the Apple Watch.
So I'm looking at the broom. It's not the shot I want.
Yeah, based on that ice, I think he's throwing this straight guard.
Yeah.
If you get some nice hook, you might get lucky and come right down to the inside of that red, but
well,
seems to be hanging.
Looks to be T-ish weight.
It's cutting now. Ooh, this could be good.
I'd stay close to that, boys.
Whoa. Just guard.
All right, it's a guard. So, looks pretty good for a steal 1 right now.
Yeah, if I'm Pring, I'm running that right red. It's pretty guilt-free. I don't think you can hurt yourself. And if you run it into that top red-blue, I think that red's going straight back into the blue. You might get a deuce out of it. Slightly unfortunate spot there for Team Turner. I wish I had like the diagramming that they have in the Briar where I could just arrow it up.
Yeah, we definitely want to set up a telestrator here. We need, but we need your support to do that. So that's Bucks County Curling Club. 1185 York Road, Rink 2, Warminster, Pennsylvania, 18974.
I'm impressed you have that memorized. So it looks like he'll be playing one of these wing runs. I think there are 3 of them that are possible.
Now, there's also 1:07 left in the clock. I'd really like to see him throw a stone here so they get to play 8 ends.
Yeah, they're really really looking at this one closely. It's an important shot, so I don't blame him. So is it the last rock delivered or the first rock of the next end delivered?
Last rock delivered. That's a modification for this bonspiel. The official USCA rule would say that all stones settled at the end of an end begins the next end.
So if he releases this in the next
24 seconds. And Matt doesn't really dally in the house, so
Yep.
I fully expect it to go away.
Yep.
And there it goes.
Yeah, 15 seconds to spare. That's about 6 or 7 times the
Yep.
amount Kui would have.
Really close. Zach is on the call. They got to go. They got to hurry. They got to get it over. Clock it in. Oh, so close.
Half an inch over curl.
And it is a steal of 1 for Steve Turner.
Jumped out a second sooner. You have it.
Indeed.
All right.
Well, Zach was yelling for it, and they didn't sweep.
Yeah, it looked like it took him a second.
So after 6 ends of play, it is Matt Pring with the score of 7 and Steve Turner trailing by 3. Had to wait for Pring to move there. Looking around the ice shed, it's a steal of 1 for Pat Jolly.
The crazy scoring has stopped.
That game is back and forth, and now it's 9-8 in favor of Pat Jolly. Plainfield, it's all Plainfield all the time right now on sheet D. It's 8-2 after 6, and looking ready to throw some more up against our hometown heroes from Bucks. And waiting on the 6N. Sorry, we complete the 6N on sheet A, and the score is going up now. And it is a steal of 1 for Michelle Sheffer. So it is a Sheffer rank holding a 7-5 lead over Denver.
I must say, with 2 teams with 4s, one of those teams with 2 4s, both are losing.
Welcome to the C event, sir.
I think those teams just were raring and ready to go at the beginning and weren't ready for the second half.
Why don't you go grab yourself a plate of food so you're set for your next drill?
Sounds good.
So, since all the intelligence just left the broadcast, got 2 guards up there by Steve Turner. Matt Pring asking what Kevin wants what he wants to throw. He says, "Let me throw the draw." Gonna stick one underneath there. Called for a 4-5. It's going to be a touch deeper than that. Coming back to an 8. I'm okay. So Essen McMead here to draw underneath the guards. Try set up a steal. They are trailing by 3 after 6 ends. Oh, and that picked terribly. That took an unscheduled right turn in Albuquerque. Unfortunate break there. Mike Glessner throwing a draw here. That also is taking a pretty hard turn in, but it's going to be in a good spot. Right in the back of the button. A good result there. Leaves them sitting 1 and 2. Now Steve Turner is going to try to draw down the pile. Steve's recognizing that he's going to have to be very intimate in the forefoot. Line looks pretty good now. They got him on it. Paul and Bert are sweeping their hearts out. They got to get past those top 2 guards, trying to get past them, and they do. Called off now. Where will it settle in? Just a little bit off the outside. It's going to settle to be second shot. Asking Michael Glessner to throw yet another stone in. A lot of high-scoring affairs here in this draw. Zach Gary and Kevin Brady. Now called off, looking for a little bit of curl. And now the stone starts to finish. And at 5:44 p.m. on June 22nd, that's 2 consecutive beautiful draws by Mike Glessner. Good shooting, Mike. Now Steve Turner calling for the run back. Line looked pretty good. Oh. It was good. We had to brush though, but that's okay. And that, unfortunately, is going to complicate Steve's situation a bit. So Matt's just going to throw one right on in again, pile it in, make it very difficult to get in there to steal. He's trying to take care of this one right now. So this one overcurled a lot on Zach right there. And it feels like it hit a little bit of a flat spot in the ice there and really caught hard. Calling Paul here for a normal-ish weight double. Tough ask, but all the shots are tough right now. It's going to catch the top one, but that will expose the Pring stones and make them a little bit more accessible. Second stone away from Zach Gary here. Trying to throw the guard. It looks pretty good. It's going to come on in and come in contact and raise her own up. Right onto the lid. There is a bit of a pocket for Steve Turner to get to. And that's a shot he has to make. There's no hitting your way out of this right now. You have to draw right down to that little lid there and find your way in there. On sheet D, we have the 7th end posted. Single point for Bucks County, trailing 8-3 after 7. So looks like that may go the way of Plainfield. Steve Turner appears to have ice for a hit here, and I'd really like to see him taking draw ice right now. Got Mack and Bird on it hard. Paul's calling hard for the line. Got to sneak past, and now they're up. Needs to bite, needs to bite, needs to bite. Oh, probably just over brush, just a touch. I think that rock had a chance. Just need a little better line call. So Mr. Pring's gonna lob one in there. Matt Pring away with his first. They're calling top 4 or T. Zach calling hard for line. It is cutting really hard. It's going to be on their top stone, and let's see what the result is. Okay, so the shot's still there for Steve to get in there. It's not easy for sure. It is Pring sitting 2 for sure. Really tight for 3. If you put a gun to my head, I'd say it's 3, but thankfully that's not the case. So Steve really just has to throw a draw here. It's an ugly draw. Okay, so it looks like Steve has settled in on the draw. That's the shot he's going to own, and go to war with here. Pretty much all the shots carry a high degree of difficulty here, so. Explaining the shot to Mac, and Bert's just there to sweep. He's not going to give you any input. All right, so here it comes. We overcooked the last one a little bit for line. We probably had the last one. This one's got a lot of work to do. They're on it. It is turning. It's buckling in. Now, can they get it there? The line's going to be good if they can ever get it there. The line will be great, and it's only going to get to the middle of the 8-foot, and it leaves Pring sitting 2, possibly 3. And this likely will determine our outcome here. Now, there's no blame to be had there. Paul had to wait for that stone to cut in because it was set out just a little bit wide. Had to wait for the stone to accept the curl before you tried to drag it. Nice shot by Laura Halsey over on sheet C, which has her taken 3 or 4, at least 3. That game's going to run out of scoreboard pretty soon. Matt playing the crowd a little bit, but he's looking to remove the Steve Turner rock. Hey, look who's here but Andrew Swearduck. All right. Looks like Matt's actually going for a little bit of a promote as opposed to a takeout. Passed 1-2 guards, but crashed in the third guard. And it will be a score of 2 for sure. They're taking a good look for 3. And they have made a decision. We'll see whether 2 or 3. Well, whether it was 2 or 3, it was good enough. That'll be handshakes, and congratulations to Matt Pring, Zach Gary, Mike Glessner, and Kevin Brady. That also means I just booked myself a ticket to curl tomorrow. So we have, let's see here. Steal 1 for Michelle Sheffer. She has a 3-point lead on sheet A. We have a score of 4 on sheet C to make that game between the two Philadelphia rinks 12-9 coming home. Not a whole bunch of defense going on over there. And we have handshakes and a victory for Plainfield on sheet D over Bucks County. So we'll catch you for the next draw. For my friend Mr. Dunham, who's currently enjoying his dinner. We'll catch you in a few minutes.